So in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about kind of lead arm rotation. I know a lot of people had questions on this and kind of think you don't have to rotate your forearms much. Some people believe that you have to. You definitely do have to rotate your forearms or supinate it a little bit. But I have a new version of the hack motion sensor that I'm going to use, which gives you a new feature to measure how much your forearms are rotating. So I think this is really great to show you guys. And I want to maybe show how I swing the club. Now, I don't really think about it too much, to be honest. As long as I show you guys throughout my different clubs that I'm using, my 7-iron, long irons, woods, and a driver, maybe give you some insight as to what's actually happening as compared to maybe other golfers. So this video is going to be more just to show you what I do in my swing, what I'm kind of feeling, and what's actually happening in terms of that lead arm rotation, just to give you guys a bit better perspective. And like always, if you guys want to send in your swings to me, you can check out my online programs. I'll leave the link to the website in the description box below. But if you send in your swings to me, I can give you very specific drills for your tendencies after I kind of go over an initial analysis of your swing. I'm just going to go ahead and hit a few shots. I'm going to see what the hack motion actually says and how I compare to their benchmark and where most PGA Tour pros fall in. Okay, and wherever I am, I'm going to try my best to kind of adjust myself to get as close to the benchmark as I can. And along the way, I'll kind of explain what I'm feeling and how I'm adjusting in order for me to get there. Okay, so this is kind of a live demonstration more as to how I'm kind of practicing, and maybe it'll give you some insight as to how you can practice or what you need to be feeling as well. I'm just starting off with my 7-iron. Okay, so I'm going to hit a couple shots. While I'm hitting, I'll show the number of my lead arm rotation, okay, where it compares to the benchmark. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit a few and see where I'm at. Okay, so pretty decent strike there. So you can see a bunch of numbers on the screen here. So if you just look at the bottom column, that's basically when the shaft is kind of parallel to the ground coming into impact. And you can kind of see a positive 57 degrees. So a positive number, it just means that my forearm, lead forearm, is kind of supinating this way, okay? And it's saying that I'm over-rotating it, you know, plus 23 degrees too much. Okay, now through impact, I'm kind of under-rotating it, so I'm kind of not continuing to rotate it as much. My timing in the backswing, downswing, and everything like that's perfect for how much I'm rotating it, which is good. It's a first for me. So it says I'm a bit too fast with it, with the rotation. Let's see what I can do. It says I'm kind of over-rotating from about this position into impact. Okay, so I'm gonna try to feel like I'm not really rotating it very much coming down. And I'll try to like feel like I'm rotating it more in the follow through, just see what happens, okay? I pretty much did the exact same thing in the downswing, P6 to P7. I did a bit better on the way through, so that was pretty close. I'm still really fast with it. Let me just hit one where I'm just like completely holding it off, okay? Like I'm gonna feel like I don't rotate this forearm at all, and then see what the numbers look like. I really felt like I was just holding that off. The funny thing is like, it doesn't really read too differently. I'm kind of rotating it kind of at impact and maybe just a bit through impact. I haven't really changed what I'm doing coming down. All right, let me try it one more time, but this is good to show you guys because even though I feel like I'm not rotating anything in my forearms, I still am rotating it. You can kind of see it's still turning over plus 60 degrees, and then through impact, it's still plus 70 degrees. So there is forearm rotation in there. So this is something that I want to share with all of you. Like if I literally tried to not rotate it at all, I think I would probably shank it or like hit it so far right. And I'd probably swing it much, much slower as well. So that last one, I literally felt like I wasn't rotating it at all, but yet it was still rotating or turning over. So let's try one. I'm just gonna really exaggerate this one. Like I'm gonna feel like I'm not rotating it at all. Let's just see what that looks like. Okay, and see if I'm gonna try my best to change the numbers. Okay, so all right, let's see. It's like literally this exact same thing. Like it's really hard for me to change it. That goes to show you, like if I don't rotate it, I'm literally gonna probably hit the wall over there. Okay, which I don't think I'm gonna try to do. But let's just see. Yeah, okay, maybe slightly better coming down, but you can now see if I'm really trying to kind of hold this off and not get this lead arm to rotate at all, you can see how far right I hit that, right? It literally hit the wall over there. I'm gonna do one more, kind of not just doing my normal swing again. It's pretty much the same. It looks like I'm pretty good at kind of keeping my wrist stable just through impact. Okay, I don't like have it turn over like really immediately through impact. So I'm not someone that does this just after they hit the ball. The shaft is leaning forward, so I'm striking it and it kind of goes through pretty stable. You can see my wrist doesn't really do anything. And then until much later, my lead wrist starts to rotate. If you are someone that is like really holding it off and is not really rotating it, if you're everything you see on the numbers is under red, literally, then you definitely need to add some amount of rotation faster through impact. Okay, but you definitely need to have a certain amount of shaft lean. So the shaft lean is really important to keep the wrists really, really stable. If you're hitting the shot with the shaft like straight up and down, I think you'll see a lot more rotation. So let's try one. So I'm gonna hit one, literally trying to scoop the ball, okay? And then we'll see how the numbers change. So this one, I'm gonna scoop the absolute max, okay? So you can see when I'm trying to scoop, that kind of coming into impact, I'm like really over rotated, almost double the amount that I was before. And you can see how left it was, right? That ball went really left because that makes me want to close the face. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, I like really tried to scoop that. Yeah, plus 44. And that felt absolutely ridiculous. I think for me, I think just my timing is just really good. I'm not really thinking about it, but for those of you who might not be able to time it as well, like I can still hit the ball doing that, but I literally felt like I was doing this. You can see that if I do that, if I get this arm or the club to lean backward, I'm gonna like, without thinking about it, my lead arm is gonna actually rotate a little bit early. You can kind of see that. Okay, so there's still gonna be rotation in there. Now, what I did differently is you can see that my lead arm, when it comes down, right, in order for me to get the club face to square, it's gonna turn with my lead wrist kind of still a bit flexed. Okay, and then on the way through, it just kind of holds that off, and then I start to get the club head to pass my hands a little bit. So that's why it would read like I would hit the golf ball, my wrist stayed pretty stable until the club overtakes eventually. That's pretty much what I do with my 7-iron. So I'm gonna go to a longer club, see if there's any difference. So next up, I have my 2-iron. We just hit a 7-iron before, gonna go to a long iron, then I'll probably hit a wood and a driver, just to show you guys if there's any dramatic differences. I don't think there's gonna be any differences, but I'll just kind of go ahead and hit just so you guys can see it. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same. This should answer a lot of people's questions on like if long irons should be different than hitting a 7-iron, and not really, right? It's pretty much the same. You should be having one swing that pretty much fits into all the clubs. Driver might be a little bit different, right? Because of, the ball's not on the ground anymore, your setup's a little bit different, but swing mechanics should be pretty much the same throughout. Okay, so I'll hit one more, see if it's the same or not. Again, pretty much the same. That's my 2-iron. Okay, so wherever, if you guys just so happen to get this device and measure yourselves based on where you're at, if you're under rotating it, which I doubt anyone would really under rotate it, because then they wouldn't be able to hit it anywhere. And plus they would probably hit it so far to the right. If you are under rotating it, then again, you just need to focus on adding, you need to feel like you're getting this forearm to supinate a bit more, almost like the inside of your forearm would kind of point more so towards you guys, right? You don't want to have your lead arm turned in. So let me go to my 3-wood now, just to show you guys. Okay, so 3-wood, gonna go ahead and hit. I'm actually really surprised because like I'm actually very, very consistent with it. It's like the numbers are like very, very close to being the same each time. I think is a good thing. So again, if you're really good at having like the exact same numbers all the time, that shows that there is consistency. Now, if you are always changing, okay, you at least want to try to do it one way more so than the other, okay? But I would suggest it'd be better to have some amount of supination in that lead arm, okay? Especially if you're struggling with like slicing the golf ball, having the club face open. So I'll go one more with my 3-wood. Yeah, pretty much the same. Kind of healed that a little bit, but so now, last but not least is the driver. Driver is where people think it has to be different, right? Now, I explained in a previous video, I might leave that link in the description box below, about driver release and things like that. It's pretty much the same. Now, the only big difference, right, is that where the longest point forms with a driver versus an iron. So we know that since it's teed up with driver, that longest point will form more so right at the golf ball, okay? With an iron, you want that longest point to form just after impact, okay? So that would show you the difference between hitting down on it versus more level to the ground. But that doesn't mean that your wrists have to move really differently in any way, okay? So let's go ahead and hit the driver. Yeah, again, very much the same. I kind of healed that one a little bit. Let's hit one more. Driver seems to be a hair faster. That's because I'm just trying to swing it really hard. For me personally, if I were to try to get exactly this, like 0 with the numbers, I would feel like I would swing it so slow. Okay, that's my feeling. Like it would all feel so stiff right here if it was me, okay? It's really important that you do have some amount of forearm rotation. You don't want to go try and eliminate it completely. I don't think it's even possible, to be honest. If you tried this, if you go try your hardest to get rid of it 100%, I don't think you'll be able to do it unless you want to hit it like 100 yards right. Okay, so one more. Yeah, again, pretty much exactly the same. So now you've seen me hit my 7-iron, my 2-iron, my 3-wood, and my driver. Pretty much, I didn't do anything different. It was exactly the same for all my clubs. Now, it may change a little bit if I were to maybe try to flight it. Like if I hit lower, I'd probably not want to release it as hard. I'd probably like hold it off a little bit more, but you're still gonna have some rotation in there, okay? So again, I hope this video just gives you a bit more perspective on what that lead arm is supposed to be doing. You can see that the benchmark with all PGA Tour pros, they still all have that forearm rotation in there, okay? It's never gone 100%. This video is just a quick live demonstration just to show you guys, but hope it helps. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to try and answer your questions.